Hey, Nick.
Hello, Tice.
Happy Halloween,
Happy Halloween,
my man.
man.
How you going?
I'm good.
Excellent.
I've had way too many lollies.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I'm full to the brim.
Full to the brim.
With chocolatey goodness.
Yeah. What's your favourite? What's if someone comes to your door, trick-or-treaters, what do you give them? Do you give them an apple?
Like a mixed lolly bag.
You get
kind
a
of
mixed
thing.
lolly bag?
So just kind of whatever's floating around. Like, you know, those bags of my most favourite thing to get, I think, would be like a red skin, maybe.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah. Because I fucking love them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm a Reese's Pieces.
Oh, yeah. No, not bad. Not bad at all. Bit of peanutty.
I want that chocolatey goodness.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, it's episode number 117.
Good Lord.
Of Nick Tyson Videotape, and it is our Halloween special.
Yes.
And we have got a very special episode planned for Halloween, Nicholas.
Just like last year where we took the Saw franchise and did all the movies, this year we're doing The Final Destination. No, Final Destination
Final
or
Destination.
The. Do you put it the? Let's put it the.
Yeah, the Final Destination franchise. We are going to be ranking all 5 films of the Final Destination franchise. It's a little bit of an easier task than last year. If you want to go back to our Spook-isodes from last year, we did actually rank all 8 of the Saw films.
We did, and there was 8. And we recommend that you do it because it's better than watching them.
Yeah. Yeah, that gets done in about 2 hours, and then you can get on with your life.
And then you're like, hey, look, I'm not going to watch 4 because...
That's it. You don't have to spend the 15 hours that we did on that really kind of not great
Would I do it again?
Series of films.
Would I do it again? Look, if you pay me.
Maybe.
If you pay me.
This might be a bit more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Placated conversation.
Oh, sure.
Because I can't, not to spoil it.
No, go on.
But I'm not sure if I feel as strongly either way about this franchise. It kind of just is a thing.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I'm kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's kind of yeah.
But I think it's going to be a fun discussion.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about things. Jesus,
We've got lots to talk about. A
lot of bodies.
Before we do any of that, though, Nick,
yeah,
why don't you tell the people where they can find our show?
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a while for me. Jeez, it feels like we've been away for a while.
It has been a little while.
Yeah. It's probably just me having a lot on. But yeah, thank you for joining us. If you do like what you hear, please subscribe to our podcast, especially on the Apple Podcast app.
Yes.
It does wonders for our algorithm and sending us out there because there are a lot of film podcasts. So thank you for choosing us.
Yeah. We're honoured.
The lovely 2 Australians that have a little bit of things to say about film.
Just a little bit.
But yes, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. We are on all the social medias, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's it. YouTube as well. And also we're big fans of the LETTERBOXD app. So if you are on there, you can follow us as well.
That's it. Find us on LETTERBOXD and you'll get the sneak peek of what films we will be talking about.
That's true.
I did a little bit of a sneaky and I
saw that.
loved
That was
the
good.
films and watched them, but I did not rate them not to spoil the fun.
Well, if you follow Tyson and myself, you'd find out that I rated all mine today. No, today, yeah.
I will be rating mine the day after the episode comes, so that you can, or like maybe a couple of days after, so that once you've listened to the episode, you'll be able to then go confirm.
So we've given you a nice teaser. So if you're following us, you'll find out what I like, but what does Tyson like?
Yes, well, you'll never know. I'm fairly certain that my rating system and the way I've ranked these films will be universally panned.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm fairly certain.
Really?
The only thing...
Yeah, go on.
No, I just think the only thing that we could all agree on, I think, is which is the worst. But I think you may disagree with me. So this is going to be an interesting conversation.
Oh, I like this. I like it.
So, Nick, why don't we just get straight into our feature prez, my man?
Final Destination.
Yeah, let's do it.
The series.
And now a feature program.
Is that him?
I think. Why did they make him up like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, that's him. Whatever it was that made him Todd is definitely gone.
Shh. Please. You'll wake the dead.
Why does hand do that?
Chemicals. In the vascular flesh create cadaveric spasms.
Look, I'm his friend, and
I know who you are.
What are all those tiny marks?
Cuticle lacerations from pulling at the wire.
Pulling at the wire. If he was pulling at the wire, he wasn't trying to kill himself. It was an accident.
In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes. What you have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail. Every single move we make, from the mundane to the monumental, the red light that we stop at or run, the people we have sex with or won't with us, the airplanes that we ride or walk out of. It's all part of death's sadistic design, leading to the grave.
Design. Does that mean if you figure out the design, you can cheat death?
Alex, you've already done that by walking off the plane. Your friend's departure shows that death has a new design for all of you. Now you have to figure out how and when it's coming back at you. Play your hunch, Alex, if you think you can get away with it. But remember, the risk of cheating the plan, of disrespecting the design, could incite a fury that could terrorize even the Grim Reaper. And you don't even want to fuck with that, Mac Daddy.
Okay then. Well, yeah. I'm sorry we broke in and...
No harm, no foul. I'll see you soon.
Well, we're gonna rewind the clock back to the year 2000.
The year 2000 was the introduction of this franchise.
Everyone loved Devon Sawa.
Fresh-faced Devon Sawa.
He was
Dewan, sorry.
Devon?
Hang on, Devon or Dewin?
No, Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa. because the W's in his last name, yes.
And Ali Lata. She was huge.
She was huge for a little while there.
Man.
Kerr Smith.
Kerr
Hot off
Smith.
that Dawson's Creek
Exactly.
fame.
Trying to shake that good guy persona. With
Sean
coming in
Williams,
with-
yeah.
with
Sean
just-
William Scott.
Just
like
Stifler coming
Stifler
in.
himself.
Yeah.
Playing a very, not Stifler-like role at all.
I think him and Kerr. What's Kerr's first name?
His character name.
No.
His name's Kerr Smith.
Kerr
isn't
Smith.
it?
That's right. They're both, I feel, trying to shake the... Stifler's trying to shake his comedic thing of him being a dick, and Kerr's trying to be the dick. Like, he's trying to be
Kerr's,
really
full alpha male.
full, and it's
after-
really
yeah.
coming out of nowhere.
Which is very interesting indeed. But yeah, so we've watched all 5 of these, Nicholas.
We have.
And so the system is we're going to start with our worst.
Okay.
And we're going to work our way towards our best. As we do this in our usual ranking fashion, if one of us mentions a movie that one or the other has higher up on their list,
we're going to table it.
We will table it and we'll come back to it when we both are at that point.
Okay.
So, Nicholas, why don't we start with number 5, our least favourite Final Destination film. Nick, why don't you go first?
Number 5. Oh, our least favourite.
Least favourite.
All right. Well, hilariously enough, we're starting at Final Destination number 1.
Number 1. Nicholas has put number 1 as his least favourite. All right, well, we're just going to come back to that.
We're going to table that?
But not for long.
I'm loving it already.
Yeah. So my least favourite
Go on.
is number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
I will actually, you know what? I'm going to retract what I just said.
Oh,
and
really?
Number 4, I'm going to agree with you there. No, I'm staying.
No,
I'm sticking. I'm going to
stick to your guns.
stick to my guns.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, keep going.
So number 4 is my least favourite. So seeing as we're both tabling each of those, we are now going to move to our second least favourite. And I've got a feeling this is where we might cross over.
Okay. Because my second least favourite is number 4.
And my second least favourite is number 1.
Okay.
So we now get to discuss both of these.
Both
Nicholas,
of these.
Did you start with number 1? Did you watch these in order?
I did. Yeah, I
me
watched these
too.
in order. I had to.
Yeah, so I ended up watching number 1 probably close to about a month ago now.
Right.
Because that's when we decided that we were going to be doing this franchise.
Yep.
So it's not exactly fresh in my mind.
No, I remember... Jesus. I don't... I remember everything that happened. I remember the kills.
I remember most of the kills.
Oh, maybe not. All I remember is the bus. Obviously, you remember the event.
Yes,
Everyone
well, the event
remembers
in the first one is the
is
plane crash, which was the instigating incident.
Yeah, Flight 180.
Flight 180, and it carries through the entire series.
It really does.
It's always, it's mentioned here and there. People catch wind of it because they Googled, unexplained deaths after
or
escaping it. Yeah,
or
and
things
it's
like that.
I heard about this Flight 180 thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
there's so many, the later you get in the series, they try and flash, when the premonition happens of the main character, you see flashes of the number 180.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 180 does carry through quite a lot of it.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, going back to watching this, I was shocked at how little enjoyment I actually got out of this first one, because I remember it being fairly strong. And if you had have said, rank these off my memory of them,
sure,
I think I would have put one maybe first or second.
Right.
And it was a real fall from grace for this one. It went Flight 180 on me.
It really did.
And crashed down to really low on the list.
There was no guts to it. It's not, and this is the thing that you're going to see, unfortunately, with my opinion of this franchise, is it's a middle of the road horror movie. What you want from a horror movie is it to be either a fucking badass horror movie, which is also scary, you're into the story, it's a great script, and the acting is just hands down amazing. I would attribute that to something like Hereditary. If on the other side of the spectrum, which you only get in the horror genre, is that if a horror movie is catastrophically shit and just an abysmal film, you can actually find the fun in that as well, because it's a horror movie. You're like, oh well, geez, that was bad. You have fun with it and you laugh with it. And I would tune that to something. If anyone's seen the movie Clown, I would put that into that category, because it has some scary elements. It's not necessarily scary. The premise is absolutely stupid, such as a man putting on an old clown costume and the clown costume making him do evil things and morphing him into a scary ass clown, which sounds great on paper, but the action of it just didn't pan out. So I find in the horror genre, you've got these extreme highs and extreme lows, but you can laugh at either side of them. Final Destination 1 sits smack bang in the middle. It's sure, it's a bit of fun, but not really. That was crap acting, but kind of passable. It's kind of like, it's a mediocre, and I'm like, oh god. That's not to say that all of it was like that, but I feel that Final Destination number 1 is that to a T.
It is hideously middle of the road. And you were 100% right. It is, because do you know what I mean? What I find ends up happening when I watch the first one is that the strength of this series lies in the concept. Yeah. And it took, some would argue that it was fine-tuned in 2. And I would say to a slight degree, yes. I think it really, when this might be spoiling some of my ranking, but I think by 3, they figured out what people wanted to see.
Sure.
And it was the Rube Goldberg machine of death kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it took a little bit to fine tune that. You get elements of that in part 2, and then in part 3 it kind of they really kind of grab hold of it.
Yeah.
But I just find what happens in number 1 is that I just find that the deaths themselves are really uninteresting. Yeah. And don't have the same effect that the ones in the later films do, where you're kind of watching these scenes take place and you're like, oh, is it going to be that? Oh, is it going to be this? Oh, is it going to be that?
Yeah.
And then you see, like, little moments lead to another little moment and this other moment.
Yeah.
Number 1 has very little of that, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. They kind of didn't know what they had. They didn't realise that, because I think it did. Everyone was kind of at the time, have you seen Final Destination? Everyone wanted to jump on the next horror movie. And it does that tension that it tries to build, that it does that a lot throughout number 1 and number 2. It's like, oh, careful of those knives.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, careful of that water near that PowerPoint, which just, that theme, that water near a PowerPoint happens a fucking lot in this series.
A lot. A lot.
Like a lot. Like really a lot. But yeah, you're right. Like we start off with number 1, Todd accidentally killing himself in the bath. Like, it's just the rope that we don't have this rope that comes out of the bath. Is it the rope? Or is it a plug?
I think it's
plug rope?
No, I think it's a thing that you can pull out from the wall and hang to the other side of the bath, and you can hang washing on it.
Yeah. So we in Australia don't have that. So so that ties around his neck as shampoo spills all over the tub, and he slips and chokes to death. That's kind of boring.
It is. It's kind of uneventful.
You're like, oh well, that was fun.
And I think we struggle a little bit with the introduction of this whole death is what's causing it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel as structured. Like, it doesn't feel like it's about a plan. It doesn't feel like the death is an actual character in this first one.
Always looming.
It feels like it's just kind of accidental.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of unfortunate, as opposed to later films where it's like death almost is personified as this kind of wind, like, or something. You know what I mean?
Shadow that keeps going over them. Yeah,
and you can feel its presence a little bit more thoroughly. I also don't really care for Devon Sawa's performance. I think he's really rough.
Yeah.
I like Ali Larter a lot.
Yeah.
Except her name is Clear.
Her name is Clear. Yeah.
Like, not like clear with an EA.
No,
like
no.
Clear as in I can see clearly now.
I can see clearly through you. Yeah. I can see clearly
That's not a name.
through this franchise. Yeah.
It's twice now we've got non-names as names. I don't know. American
what
listeners,
was
is
the other
Clear his actual name?
What was the other
Eben.
name? Oh, Eben. I forgot about Eben.
See our last episode on 30 Days of Night.
30 Days of Night. Yeah, Clear. And what was the last name? Was it like Clear Rivers? Was it something like that?
I think
you're
right.
Clear Rivers.
Oh, God, that's even worse.
It is, because it's double-barreled. No, because in...
Names that are a sentence?
No, because I think it's 3. 3, they go to like an institute where she is. Yeah, that's
two.
right.
Number 2, yeah, she returns.
And
the only
they
film
go,
to have a returning character.
And she's in an institute called Clear Rivers Institute. And I'm like, oh, come on, really?
What?
Yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really bad. It's not named after her. It's just called that.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's number 3.
So she was named after... Oh, hang on. So the institute was then named after her because she died in it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
so they returned to... Yes, of course.
Just a horrible...
Well, number 3 has a whole bunch of like names of places happening to be characters' names, and then that being a kind of a plot point.
Clear Rivers. That's her name, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get Terry getting hit by the bus. Now,
Which
I remember
that's a great moment.
Yeah, spot on. Because you literally, it's done so well that you don't see it coming at all.
No, and it's a moment they try to recreate in later films as well. The sudden shock death.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they're ever as effective as that first one, the shock deaths.
Because after that one, you kind of expected it. You're like, oh.
Well, that's it. And like, not to give away too much. Well, we can actually talk about it as well because it's my least favorite and your second least favorite.
That's right.
Which is number 4, The Final Destination.
That's right.
Which
they
I
didn't
actually
put a 4, they put a the.
No. And it kind of fucks up everything now because you've got Final Destination 3, The Final Destination,
and then
Final Destination 5. And it's like, come on, man, what are you doing? It's worse than the Predator names of films.
Help us out, man.
But there's which I think that movie is legitimate garbage.
It was so bad.
There is so much wrong with that movie. At least Final Destination is competently made.
Yeah.
It looks slick. It looks like obviously just coming in with the new millennium.
Yeah.
So it has that real 90s horror feel. Like it looks slick, like a Scream movie, like an I Know What You Did Last Summer. Very Dimension Films. It might have even been a Dimension Films release.
Whereas The Final Destination looks like a straight to DVD.
Not even. Yeah. It looks like a Hallmark movie. Yeah. It is horribly directed.
But the look of it as well. Like, it looks
Oh, yeah,
bad.
the cinematography garbage. Yeah. The lighting is it's just so flat.
Yeah.
All of it. Which is funny. Like, so when did you notice that the first and third film directed by the same guy, James Wong, and then the second and fourth directed by David R. Ellis,
same guy,
of Snakes on a Plane fame.
Yep. So, still haven't seen it. On the list.
No, you're fine.
No, I need to see it only because of the story behind Samuel L. Jackson leaving if they renamed it. That's literally what I want to watch.
Well, and look, I mean, the title is the one thing that movie has going for it.
Exactly. See, that's that premise there, right there. That's a film that you can watch and go, this isn't going to be good. This is going to be bad. But I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to laugh at it. It's going to be
That's a film. It's a film built around a title.
Exactly.
And it lives up to its title.
Yeah,
there are snakes on that plane.
That's awesome.
Actually, there are no snakes because I think they're all CGI snakes, but...
that's awesome too.
You know,
I'm all for that.
There's snakes on that plane.
I love Anaconda. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Anaconda. How good.
J-Lo and Ice Cube.
Yeah. But yeah, so if we kind of bridge towards the fourth film...
Yeah.
Even there is a horrible similar moment with a ambulance suddenly crashing into a character.
Yes.
But it is foreshadowed so terribly because we go from this normal conversation between two people clearly on actually on location.
Yeah.
And then they cut to a shot where it's so clearly on a fucking green screen.
Yeah. And you're like,
oh well, something's going to happen now. And that's just cheap filmmaking.
Yeah.
And it ruins the effect because the whole point of it was that we get that shock. There's a few shock deaths and I just don't think any of them really work.
No, not after the bus.
No.
Especially after, like, watching it in a row, like, not after the bus. Yeah. So Final Destination, the Final Destination, for those playing the catch-up game, is the one where they all go to a motor race, like the Daytona type feel.
And even that is it's the shittest, like...
I had an idea with 3, but 4 and 5, I didn't know anything about.
Sure.
So coming in, I was like, well, you're not going to go with this, are you? It's not going to be a car hitting, and then, you know, the main character's like, oh, how old is this stadium? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's such a shame. Like, okay, so the plane is actually not really super inspiring. Like, but it's the original. They didn't realize that half of the fun was seeing just how elaborate that initial death scene was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was really until the second one with the freeway chase that we kind of appreciated just how ridiculous that opening scene could be in these films.
Yeah.
The plane has some pretty gnarly shit in it, though. Like
it was not bad,
the plane
but it wasn't
at the start.
Yeah, but it wasn't what the others end up being.
Exactly.
It's not an event gore fest where you're like, whoa,
yeah. But I'd say the fourth one does not have anything going for it.
No, there's nothing in that section that you're like, oh, apart from maybe, I will give them this. Apart from like, so when the premonition happens, they all flee. They watch it from a distance of whatever's going to happen. It happens in all of them. They see the accident happen, and then one by one, how they're meant to die is how they end up dying. No spoilers. That's literally how all 5 movies happen.
Yes.
What they do in 4 is that they do the first kill straight after. The wheel comes over the thing and hits a bang in the back of the head. And I'm like, I'll give you that one.
I don't mind that.
That was not bad.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I'm giving you.
See, the fourth one is funny because I honestly don't think there's any redeeming factors to it. I find all of the deaths really uninteresting.
Yeah.
I think there is possibly there is a scene in that film that is one of the worst scenes in a movie I've ever seen, and that is the scene where they come to find Michael T. Williamson. And he's trying to hang himself. And he talks about how... I've done this twice, it won't work. I tried to... The gun backfired, blah, blah, blah. I took a bunch of pills and I threw them up. And, you know, that's an interesting idea, because I don't think it came up in anything prior to this. The idea of someone trying to commit suicide and death not allowing it because it wants...
But that doesn't make any... And this is... sorry, keep going before I say
we can go back to that because that conceit is kind of dodgy as it is anyway.
Yeah.
But it's the scene afterwards. He has just been trying to kill himself, right? And then he turns into this weird, like, happy-go-lucky guy. And he's like... And they pop champagne.
Oh, that's right.
And they have a conversation about what they're going to do. And they're like, oh, we want to travel. Maybe go to, Paris.
Fuck, what a bad movie.
And it's literally a 2-minute scene of them just sitting around drinking champagne, talking about what they want to do now. And I'm like, I am so bored by these. And none of these, you are not, like, how is this how you are reacting to this situation?
Exactly. The noose is still in the fucking room, by the way. Yeah.
Yes. And it's almost like 4 was trying to do a satirical thing that I think 3 does quite well.
Yeah.
And just failing miserably at it. Like really, really just like completely tonally fucking it up.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think 3 and 5 hit a little bit of that satirical note on the head. Not a lot, but they
enough
kind
that they are
play with it a
aware
little bit.
of the movie that they're making.
Exactly.
And we'll get to it, but I think that's a trait of these films that only really two of them get a good handle on.
Yeah.
And I think it's what makes that part of it is the best part of these movies.
Yeah.
That idea that, yes, the first one takes itself way too seriously.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem as well. And that's and especially now because it takes itself seriously, like 2000 seriously.
And you can't take it seriously now.
We
Like watching it now, you're like,
anything serious from the 2000s.
Unfortunately, I'm going to rate you very low.
Yeah. Everything from 2000.
Christ.
If we try, like from 98 to 2000 and early 2001.
Yeah.
You're trying to take anything seriously from that time in film and television. You're just like, oh no, stop it.
Unfortunately,
Stop
not.
it.
It's a full pass from us.
Because there's literally no self-awareness at all.
No.
Two, maybe starts to kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah,
but
not
this
really,
one
but
and
yeah.
four shoots for the fences and fails miserably.
It fails hard.
It
Fails hard. Also, with 4, because 4 came out in 2009, and you could tell literally by the action sequence and the premonition event.
Yes.
That 3D was a thing, and they were pushing that button hard.
Well, it's been removed from the title. It was the Final Destination 3D.
3D one, yeah. And they let you have it. Like any chance they got to throw something at the screen, I was like, oh, come on, guys, this is just bad. This is just it's turning into a film that you go and see at a theme park when you have that 4D and they throw water and wind in your face.
Sure.
You know.
Well, what's disappointing is it probably isn't a terrible idea. If there was to be a 3D experience movie, maybe witnessing a bunch of hideously gory deaths in kind of elaborate fashion is probably not a terrible idea for a 3D film.
Sure, but just not this one.
I can't believe how much this movie you can't even get that right.
No, it just falls flat.
Like as soon as you're watching it, and I think the first, like it's hard. Usually you can tell pretty quickly when the 3D scenes are. Yeah. And look, this might be just the really obvious ones. There might have been some before it, but it was some of the racetrack stuff.
It was
where you were like
intercutting.
That's where it's
a tire here and a fence bit there.
But definitely the moment where one of the tires flies, but it's a guy who gets impaled on something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the camera bird's eye views him getting impaled, and he gets impaled through the mouth.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah.
And we see him kind of sink down to the bottom of it, but the pole kind of comes up through him, and obviously is meant to be poking out at us in 3D.
Yeah.
And maybe that might have been effective in a cinema, but then this is why this movie, I think, really does think it was going to be better than it was, is because then it has the fucking gumption to set its finale at a 3D cinema.
Oh no, I kind of like this. This was balls out. This was like no. What we're going to do is I wrote it down. So this is the 3D. So this is Final Destination 3D, set within a 3D movie, where the explosion in the movie that they're watching kills the people watching it in 3D. Does that make sense? You didn't like that? It was pretty funny.
So the reason why I don't like it is because, well, that's it. My reaction was more of an eye roll, because that's the kind of move that I would like to see a good movie take those risks. And go and pull it off. But this movie, it doesn't make any statement about 3D cinema. It doesn't it's not like satirically reflecting on its own cashing in on that.
Yeah.
It just sets it in there and is like nudging you in the side with its elbow going,
wait for it.
You're watching 3D. Check out where we are. And it's actually like it's as far as finales go, it's fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's true.
And like the way it's kind of, aside from all the terrible acting, terrible scripts, there are just moments in this film where like the conversations they have with each other are so disingenuous, and then the finale is so uneventful because he has another premonition, which is like, okay, sure. So we saw all these things happen and now they don't happen. So we're going to see it all again.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He just puts out a fire? Like, well, that's not interesting. It's even less interesting than the first one where it was just keep him away from some electricity.
It was so bad.
I
literally just wrote, same ending. Moving on.
I mean, well, these movies are the same movie. Like, this is...
That's the thing.
The hardest thing about these movies, they are the same movie.
They really are.
Yeah.
But that was my problem with this entire franchise, is that if you are going to do a sequel to this movie, look at the lore, see what's happened, and then go, okay, how can we build on that? Because we're not going to do the same thing. No. These are the people that sat at the table and no, we know what they want. We're just going to do the same thing, right?
They all try, though. This is the thing. They all try. They all try to have those moments where it's like, hey, we can learn from what's happened in the past. And maybe, these people... But they all end up doing the exact same thing. I read a thing about this. Apparently, we can break the cycle if we save someone's life.
Or if we die.
I'll give points to 3 because it introduced the idea of perhaps if you take the life of somebody...
Yep. Was that in 3? Yeah,
so
that was
in 3, it was designed that if he killed the person after him, it would skip him.
Yep.
Spoilers for 3.
And then there was also...
And then in 5, they introduced the idea entirely that you can, if you kill anybody, you're giving death a sacrifice.
Yeah, you take their life,
and they assume
yours,
your death.
Yeah, exactly.
They're your placeholder. Which to me is probably it is a more interesting addition.
Yeah.
And something worth exploring. I don't think either of them explore them particularly effectively.
No.
5 maybe a little bit more. But
5 I didn't mind. Especially because it had a bit more guts to why he was doing it.
Yeah. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
So that's 1 and 4. Is there anything else we need to talk about in 1 and 4?
Let me go back to 1.
Go to your notes. I wrote no notes for any of these.
You wrote no notes.
Not a thing.
Okay. So we've got... Yeah, no...
I'm currently looking at, and I don't, because I'm not really the biggest fan of this website, as nobody is, yet it somehow still exists. I'm looking currently at a list of all the Final Destination deaths ranked in order.
Oh, sure.
I'm on BuzzFeed. Don't hold it against me.
Jesus.
And I'm just looking through...
Don't mention that website on my podcast.
There is... How's the scene in number 4 with the racist old man in the hospital? And he's sitting by the bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
And he talks about how he killed a bunch
a lot
of your time in Korea.
Yeah.
And it's just
I was like,
what are we doing here?
Let this man die. This man needs to die.
Which is kind of like, this is why that movie does not understand what kind of movie it's making, because I think they think that's funny.
Yeah. Well, these are
funny.
No, that's not funny. It's the same as is it in 4 where the redneck racist guy gets dragged on fire?
Yeah.
While he's
kind
trying
of gets his own lynching, I guess.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's badass. It's kind of because what it did there was instead of having all the survivors who you are meant to like, not that we like them, you are meant to like and have a connection with these people, go, oh no, they're going to get it, oh no. Instead, they flipped the coin and went, we're going to make it happen to someone that you're not meant to like.
Yeah.
Watch this redneck burn.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, redneck burn.
You rarely like the characters in these movies.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm trying to swing for the fences.
But when it's a deliberate choice. But I don't know why number 4 decided that we want racism to be a thing in this movie. Because they set it up from the beginning. He could just be an asshole for other reasons. But they set it up straight from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's make him a full redneck asshole. And he's got a swastika on his arm.
He has a swastika on his arm.
And it's fuck, man. This is a Final Destination movie. I'm here to have a good time, have a bit of a laugh, watch some elaborate deaths take place, kind of maybe have a few chills. I don't need racial allegory and thematic style deaths, because it kind of becomes like a cheap knockoff of a Tales from the Crypt, where that's
that's
you're
true.
Getting your comeuppance.
That's
and
true.
It's like, oh man, fuck, this is not what I want from this movie at all.
The only thing that I've got to not really mention, but just Final Destination. Yeah, I was going to go through actually, no. You know what I want to do? We're going to rate them, but we're also going to rate the best death in each film. How about that?
All right. Yeah,
okay?
Good call.
So number 1 is obviously the bus. Are we going to go with the bus, or are we going to go with Miss Luton, whose computer glass the computer, which you got to think back in 2000, the computer monitor is actually a massive television.
Yep.
Blows up. The glass from the television stabs her in the neck. She slips. A knife goes into her stomach. The computer then lands on her chest, driving the knife through her body, and then her house explodes. I think that's not fucking bad. I was like, Jesus, what the fuck did this poor woman deserve all this for?
I love the icing on the cake and then the house explodes. So good.
Do you know what I mean? Oh god!
Look, I would say that's an entertaining one, because that's there's a lot of fun moments in that death, but I don't for sheer value of impact.
The bus.
Nothing beats the bus.
Okay.
Because that's a scene.
We're in agreement.
That's an idea that I don't think. I'm probably speaking out of turn, but I mean, Meet Joe Black fucking did it, for God's sake. But
Yeah, it did.
there's
No,
something.
but this did it. This was the first one because I remember seeing this for the first time, and I may have been with some friends, and we may have rolled a joint and watched this.
Partake in some
in some
of the green
go on
enjoyment.
Yep.
I've got nothing.
But yeah, so we watched this. I watched this quite baked. So when she got hit by the bus, our reaction was so catastrophically massive. We're like, "Oh fucking Jesus Christ!" Like we let our neighbours know what happened. But yeah, I will agree with you on that. So Destination 4, we've got the redneck getting dragged.
Nope.
The hairdresser rock to the eye. That was
Garbage.
so fucking shit. The mechanic gets a canister to the chest and his body goes through the fence 3D style.
It's not bad. See, what
But
it
no,
is bad.
it
It's
is
bad
bad.
because
It's bad.
because that's another terrible conversation.
Yeah.
Like the conversation because that all of a sudden that movie stops for Michael T. Williamson to tell us about his dead family.
Yeah.
And they're standing
Why was
either
that
side of this
needed?
fence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
clearly this fence has something to
clearly
do with
this
it.
fence is going to happen. Is going to be
It's
the
such a-
cause of it.
yeah.
So that there's not really, and they, there's obviously still setup happening in the background.
Yeah.
But they're trying to have like this serious emotional discussion about about grieving and moving on with your life.
Yeah.
While clearly misunderstanding what people are going to a Final Destination movie for.
100%. The next
But it's still
one-
pretty great when
it's
he
still pretty
like,
good.
gets
It's
like
very 3D.
smooshed through it, and then it keeps going and falls out, and you can see through him.
chunks.
That's not bad.
The next one, which I think is my favourite for this one, is Hunter gets his coin on the bottom of the pool, goes to the bottom of the pool, and for some reason gets stuck with his anus at the bottom of the pool. And the pump is switched to overload, and it sucks his insides through the pool, and drains him. It was not bad. I think that's my fave. Actually, no, I love the redneck on fire. What am I talking about?
I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw this out there. I think we're going to go back to what we talked about earlier.
Sure.
I think the tire.
You think the tire at the
I think
start?
the tire taking her head off at the start is the best.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Plus, it was in 3D.
It was. Do you remember do you remember back in JB days, they would sell this with a shrink-wrapped pair of 3D glasses attached to the DVD cover?
3D. The next one was the car wash. Janet gets stuck in the car wash.
I don't mind the car wash, but she ends up getting out, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a bummer.
I was like, well,
But the car wash scene is pretty great.
yeah, it was
Actually
pretty. It was
didn't
not
mind
bad, but because she was just going to drown. Like that was the thing. She was literally stuck
she was
in the car.
the car was going to push
that's
through.
what pushed her
she
head-
would have
take her head off.
Yeah, it would have just propelled her face off with constant rubber flap hitting her
Slapping
skin.
her in the face.
It just would have.
God
I don't know. I'm
damn.
coming around on 4.
You're
There's some good death scenes. Changing my mind.
After that, I've written something that I don't understand. I've written cowboy bath. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, so the bath falls. That's with the racist old man, and he's having a bath, and then
right.
it falls through the floor. That's garbage.
That's shit. The ambo hits the dude.
Garbage.
George gets hit. Yep. And that's it.
And,
and then the 3D movie.
Yeah, but
you
it
don't-
ends up being a premonition,
yeah.
and they avoid it. And what happens to them? Oh, they just end up. A truck drives through when they're at the cafe at the end, and by that point, I did not care.
I was just like,
care
yeah,
in any
cool.
way, shape, or
I'm
form.
off to bed. Fuck this movie.
And that was 4 is the most just a carbon copy of the other ones that possibly existed.
Yeah, 100%.
Even that ending,
It doesn't add anything. It doesn't. Yeah.
Anyway,
very boring.
I'm going to vote for the tire through the head. That's my favorite kill of
I'm
that
going
film.
to go with the pool sucking.
All right, nice.
Yeah,
that's all right. I'm with you.
All right.
So, Nick, that was our least favourite and our second least favourite in different order.
Sure.
So now we can flip it to the other way, because now we can say our third favourite, because it's also our third least favourite.
Sure.
Which was for you, Nicholas?
It was number 3, hilariously enough.
Oh, we'll have to table that, my man.
Fantastic.
My third
Third
is number 2.
Third is number 2. Oh, this is literally the same.
Same
The
situation?
same situation.
Well, we'll have to go. So now what is your second favourite?
My second, so 1, 2. So third favourite. My second favourite is 2. 2?
Yes? Is that what yeah, cool. So your second favourite is 2?
Yeah. My third favourite is 3.
Yep.
This is all backwards. I don't know what's happening.
No,
here.
this is right.
This is right?
We've done it. Well,
so we can talk about 2 and 3. What's your third?
no, well, okay, so I'm in two minds. About this.
Okay, go. What's
think-
going on?
So I think we might have to table 3 for a little while.
Okay, that's all right.
My
That's
second
all right.
favourite
is 5.
is 5.
Okay.
So we're going to now jump.
We're now going to talk
no,
about
we're going to talk about number 2.
Yeah.
Very good. So
Awesome.
this is harder when there's only 5 movies.
It is. It's really hard.
Because the ranking system is so arbitrary as it
Especially
is.
because they're all called Final Destination.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking hard.
So my third
2.
favourite is number 2, and that's your second favourite.
Correct.
So why don't we discuss Final Destination number 2?
Number 2. 2002. There's a lot of 2s in this.
A lot of 2s in this.
I remember when this came out, I was still at the video store, and I thought this was way better than number 1. I thought this was way better.
Yes, me too.
I watched this a hell of a lot more. And I think number 2 is what a lot of people remember, because number 2 was now a part of society that when you were driving on a freeway and saw a fucking log truck, you panicked and kind of went, okay, I need to kind of move quite fast past
it's actually in the public consciousness, which is pretty. It's a
known thing.
Yeah, like no one gets on a plane and goes, "Oh, but Final Destination."
No.
Anytime you drive on a freeway,
log
people are
truck,
like, "Dude, Final Destination,
full pass."
Yeah,
you're driving faster or just going to turn off.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I need to fuel up. I need to fuel up all of a sudden.
It's actually kind of interesting. It's really probably the one film out of all of them that has the most like cultural impact.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because no one goes on a roller coaster and goes, "Oh, I'm fucked," even though that kind of happens a lot for some reason.
Does it?
I've seen a few videos.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah. I could show you some videos.
Well, look, I don't ride. I don't go on rides anyway.
Last year, man.
I'm still like, this is. I mean, Detour. This is.
Sure.
It's an absolute tragedy, and I'm not making light of it at all. But we have Dreamworld. Here.
We do. Oh yeah.
And I can't remember how many years ago it was now.
It wasn't that long ago.
But there was a hideous accident at Dreamworld on one of the waterlog kind of
rides,
things where it flipped over, and from reports and stuff, it was just hideous what happened. Like, it wasn't like people just like broken necks and stuff. It was it was like a Final Destination movie. And I've never been a big fan of rides anyway. I'm
a massive fan.
Yeah, okay. So I think the last actual high stress ride I went on was when I went to Movie World in 2007.
Lethal Weapon.
No, I did the Batman drop.
Yes,
thing.
The Bane drop. Is it the Bane drop? I think it's Bane.
Batwing or something. It was then.
It's a stupid thing. It's just a normal ride.
Oh, and I've done some random shit at the show and stuff, but none of those they're always less terrifying.
You're not talking Scenic Railway, which we have in Melbourne at Luna Park, which is hands down the Guinness Book of World Records of the oldest roller coaster in the world.
Well, that doesn't make me want to get on it.
It does for me.
All.
It does for me. I'm like, yeah, bring it on this thing. And when you go over, I think it's the second rump, you're like, oh, okay, I want to get off.
Yeah. So, hearing about that, it kind of just solidified my I'm never going on rides thing ever again. But yeah, so don't tell me about. Well, it doesn't matter to me, but I don't want to know that rides fail often.
Yeah,
we'll get to that soon.
But you see a log truck, Tice.
You do see log trucks all the time.
Because I was talking about it with Sam, and when she made me aware of it, because it's true. You see a log truck, and you're like, oh fuck. She also, when she sees water on the floor, because it's water and it's clear, she goes, oh, I need to clean that up quickly, because she'll see it and see think in her head kind of the premonition. Nick's going to slip on that. He'll hit his head here. Knives will come down and he'll die. Fuck, I better clean up that water.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good life tools.
Exactly. Final Destination.
Avoid potential Final Destinations.
Making us.
It's a really good life lessons in that.
Yeah.
Number 2,
But this, the premonition... This is where they kind of got
is the best one.
Yeah.
Easily the best premonition.
One for you.
Best premonition
really
by
is,
far. It's fucking great.
Jesus Christ.
And I think that's why this movie has that perception of being so much better than the first one.
Yeah.
I think people spend a lot of time just thinking about the first 20 minutes and forget that the rest of the film is actually pretty average.
It's pretty,
and pretty disappointing as a follow-up to that, because that is something else.
Yeah, it was good. It didn't even go for that long. 5... I think only 5 has kind of a rival for me of number 1. And that's where...
of number 2, you mean?
Yeah.
Like it rivals.
Of the event.
I would argue that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was kind of, no, we need to make this quite a big event. What are we going to do? 5 goes for longer, but 2 is more... it makes you react
Visceral?
more. You're like, jeez, you know, yeah.
The it's really brutal, and you feel every impact.
All of them.
I even think that the ominous build-up is one of the most effective ones.
It is, yeah.
Because I'd say they did that pretty well in 3. But
and you know what I like about this one? It's not because 3 you kind of see, or in others you see bolts moving, cracks forming.
Yes.
You know, the log just went snap, and it was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
but you had all the ominous signs.
Yeah.
Like you had the truck driving by, going the school bus.
Yeah.
Pile up.
Yeah, you have
and
the
stuff like
random
that.
guy just literally snorting coke in his car. You're like, oh, dude, maybe
the
not.
radio flicking to a different channel and all that stuff. Like it's just kind of, you get in the zone of it. You feel that real kind of like, oh, something terrible's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then when it does, it's fucking amazing.
So good.
And really kind of strong CGI too. Like the logs look really good.
Yeah, they do.
All that stuff looks great.
The log going through the police car.
Oh,
like you're
Jesus.
like, Jesus, they did that well.
Yeah.
Was that like...
And it takes a bunch of him with it too.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
The cop. Actually, we were talking about this before, even though I still rank it as my favourite because I think it is pretty funny. This also does an immediately after the event catch-up death.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Because remember, she's outside of the
That's
car
right.
and her friends who are still in the car get collected.
Yeah. Really collected.
Yeah.
Not from a car, from a truck. And you're like, okay, didn't see that coming.
Yeah. What ends up happening in number 2, though, I think that is a problem, is that it gets way too convoluted.
It gets bogged down.
And they tried to do something interesting where on paper I think it's relatively interesting, but in practice it just kind of makes your head spin a little bit and you're like, oh, but hang on.
What are you guys doing?
The whole idea of the deaths that didn't occur in the first one. Sorry, I tell a lie. The catch-up deaths actually prevented their deaths.
I think this is... I wrote this down. I think this is one of the best things that happened in the series. I think this was quite clever. It didn't go anywhere.
No,
it was a good
that's
idea.
my problem. I think on paper it's a good idea. I think in practice it really doesn't affect anything.
And especially because it happened almost at the end of the movie. I was like, that's a really good premise. Why didn't we start with this?
There was some really, like, when they revealed that kind of stuff, the idea that all of them have one of those stories. You know, and it's actually a story that I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about all those... not to be depressing, but you hear about all those people that were like, I was meant to be at like 9/11.
Sure.
But, Mark Wahlberg, for instance, was meant to be on the flight that crashed into the Twin Towers. And he missed his flight.
Yeah.
Like those kind of... So Mark Wahlberg, by the way, is potentially a Final Destination waiting to happen.
Please don't go near Mark Wahlberg.
Don't go near. He's going to get hit by a falling billboard.
Donnie Wahlberg, get the hell out.
There, Donnie. Get out of there, man. But yeah, so everyone kind of has those stories. You know what I mean, I don't think I've got one. Maybe I do. I don't know. Do I have one?
I've never thought about it, to be honest. Yeah.
I choose not to.
Yeah.
But when it would have been more interesting if it was like littered throughout and wasn't such a exposition dump while they're all just in the car.
In the car,
like
talking?
maybe just as conversations, like when they're just trying to kill time and they're like, you know what, I blah 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 blah.
I used to be able to do this, and then someone catches on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not even like. Even the audience might not catch it because I think it would have been cooler if the cop was talking about, once I went to go to this, I got called to a train crash and I was meant to be called out to a robbery, which is his story.
Yeah.
But by that point, we're already going, oh, it's the train crash in the first one.
Exactly.
But that would have been heaps cooler if it was just in conversation earlier.
Yeah.
And then it would come around and he'd go, oh, that train crash I talked about. That was him. And then we can have that moment where it becomes a good reveal.
It was such a good idea. Yeah, just didn't. Didn't go anywhere. And then because of 2, I had never seen going into this. I hadn't seen 3, 4, and 5. I'd seen 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, oh, maybe they'll do this again. Maybe it'll connect. That's how all these Final Destination movies have happened, is that all these people are literally littered down the list of they were meant to be because of Flight 180 of this thing, and because of Devon Sawa having that premonition, all the other premonitions aren't actually existing. It's literally because of him that all of these are down the line. I'm literally thinking in Rick and Morty time lapses.
That's what it ends up happening.
That's what's happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a timeline that's meant to have existed.
Yeah. exactly.
But they didn't do anything with it.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly in my head right now, I'm trying to picture the protagonist of this movie, and I cannot remember what she looks like. That's a problem.
No, it's not a problem because
I don't remember anyone's
her
names.
acting was so bad.
She's terrible.
So bad.
And the cop is terrible.
Yep.
He's garbage.
Oh, he was terrible. And do you know what he is? He's like a poor man's Josh Duhamel or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. What's the name of the guy?
Duhamel.
Yeah, the guy from, is it?
The Transformers movies and
guy,
stuff.
yeah. He's already a poor man's Michael Biehn. And now you're just getting a C grade fucking
Michael
Josh
Biehn
Duhamel.
3 times removed.
Yeah. He's a bad actor.
And it's another situation where unfortunately we're put in with a bunch of people that I don't think any of them really make much of an impact.
No, and
maybe the
likable.
stoner guy.
Yeah.
Or is he a stoner?
Not really.
Not really.
When I was watching this, Sam caught wind of what I was watching, and she's like, "What are you watching something from 2002? What is this?"
Oh yeah,
because
exactly.
he looks 2002.
Oh, doesn't he just? Doesn't
he looks so bad.
And I don't mind the scene where he's trying to hang something up in the cupboard and things fall things fall down and he just freaks out and stuff like that.
Oh God, it was bad. God, that was bad.
Oh, you know what? This movie actually has the suicide not working as well. Number 4 just copied everything from number 2. Same director.
Interesting.
It did have the suicide not working thing because
who are you talking about?
The black guy, the motorbike. He's got his motorbike. And
that's right.
He starts off really cool and he's like, I love that scene where he tells the whole story about it and then just kind of goes, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like he looks pretending like he's buying into it and then just laughs.
That's what's meant to happen.
But yeah, when he finds the gun and he shoots like 6 times and they're like, what, misfired? Yeah, 6 misfires.
6
Are you kidding
misfires?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like if you're trying to kill yourself, it won't work until your time is ready. I didn't care for that. I think if you're going to kill yourself, you should be able to do it. That for ergo, it skips the next person or something like that.
Well, it probably should just count, shouldn't it? If you kill yourself, it's just like, all right, well, on to the next person.
No, because you kill yourself. It's not death taking you.
You end up still dead.
Yeah, I know. Do something with it. Do something with it is all I'm asking.
I think it's like it was introduced in this as like a fix-all, a kind of like, because I think they knew that too many people would say, how about you just kill yourself because that'd be much less painful. Like, what if you just took a bunch of sleeping pills and packed it in? And they were like, no, we need to fix this.
Yeah.
So that won't work. And
so you can't do that.
But all it is a fix. It's a Band-Aid over a leaking balloon.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
It's just plugs the hole.
And I love how, like, throughout the series, which I didn't realize was going to happen, they're all fucked. It doesn't matter. You might as well sit in a room. You're going to die.
No.
Like, you can't fix it. There's no win. There's no out.
Well,
even if you kill someone, even if you give birth, even if you, like, all of that stuff.
That's right. 2 tries to do this new life equals... Like breaks the chain, yeah.
Fuck off!
Like, how do they?
None of it worked.
Oh no, it does work.
Does
it's the only one that actually does work.
Does it?
Number 2, because the only thing that happens at the end of number 2 is where all of a sudden number 2 takes a weird change and becomes a movie that it never was for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Where the kid at the barbecue gets blown up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
cut the credits.
No, because the hand lands on her plate and she screams, and all of a sudden it's like a bloody
shock horror.
Yeah, like it's like really fun.
Yeah.
Like
1950s, like.
Like her scream is great.
Yeah.
And, like, but the rest of the movie hasn't been that at all. 2 also has the problem of taking itself a little bit too seriously, I think. It does have moments of laughs, but it's...
Yeah, man.
Like that moment at the end, if the whole movie had that same kind of gonzo attitude where it's just like limbs fly and people screaming and hitting people in the face.
Yeah.
Or it might have been a lot of fun. But yeah, because they're at the barbecue and they managed to skip it.
Oh, yeah,
so it's not going to come back for them now.
They were fine.
That kid was just getting his because the stoner guy saved him from the ambulance.
That's right. That was not bad. See, this is why I rate it quite highly.
What did I rate it as? Third. I just think I think considering how much better I thought it was than 1, and now on the rewatch I've realised that they're probably about even for me.
And that's the thing, like when I said it at the start, like I thought this was so good. So I was actually quite excited to watch this again because I literally haven't watched it since like 2003, 2004. I watched it and went, okay, that was okay. I remember it, it was good.
Yeah.
But
it meanders a lot and it's not a particularly good looking film.
No.
It's got a real, like David Ellis I just don't think is a very good director at all. It looks both of his films are the worst looking films in this franchise. They look flat and lifeless.
Yeah, it looks everything is very overcast and just washed out almost.
Yeah, dull, like just really dull.
Yeah. Like when they're in the paddock. There was no colour in this screen. What the fuck is going on?
Well,
here?
even when they attempt, like you think of the scene in that apartment, that so 2000s apartment. Like it's just so dull and lifeless, and like it's all just like it's fluorescent lighting from inside the house, and it just feels really
a lot of metal
flat.
All right,
and none of these characters are particularly interesting.
No,
like
rememberable
or memorable. Yeah. Well, that's my problem, is that I'm having real trouble remembering any of them.
No.
And some of the deaths are interesting, I think there's one or two that we're going to talk about when we talk about our favourite death.
They were not too bad.
I think there's also some of the least interesting deaths in this one.
Really? Okay, so number one, you've got the lottery winner. Spag bowl out the window.
Well, this was a problem for me.
Yeah.
Is because...
What is it? It's his watch that's in the garbage disposal that he tries to get out because of a ring. Is it a ring? He drops something.
He drops a ring or a watch or whatever. The watch gets stuck. He drops a ring that he just bought because he just won the lotto.
That's right. And then his house catches fire. He goes to jump out of the house, and the fire escape lands on his face.
The problem with this one is... It's less of a Rube Goldberg and more of a we just need an excuse to get him to go down the fire escape.
Yeah,
because the spaghetti is the only thing that actually results
causes him to die.
We just had to get him out of the house. So are we now in a position where death attempts things and keeps attempting? Because I always thought it was preordained. It's not about like death adapting.
You can run as fast as you can. It's still going to catch you.
Because, it's like every choice you made was predetermined and it led to your death. Whereas in this one, it's almost like, it was going to be the microwave, but it didn't work. So now we've got to do something else.
Yeah.
So now we've got to do something else.
So it catches fire. It could be the garbage disposal. Clearly not. It could be the window. No. It could be you falling. No.
Because that seems like an awful lot of scaffolding to get him to go out the fire escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Surely if it was predetermined that it would be the spaghetti and the fire escape, surely there could have been another way. So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm less interested in that as a concept. I like it more that I like it when it's every choice you're making and every choice that is being made by the surrounding characters leads to an event. But so I don't really like that one.
Don't like that one?
No.
Okay.
What else we got?
This one I kind of like because the tension of what is it going to be, which this movie hangs on to, was quite good. The boy going to the dentist and the birds hitting the window. And then all of a sudden he goes out and it lands flat on
a
him.
big plate of glass lands
Big
on him.
plate of glass.
So is it because...
And then straight after that, is it the mum in the elevator? No?
Yeah. I don't mind. Same thing. I don't mind.
Actually.
This is the same thing though, because it's like... We're meant to believe that there's about 4 or 5 various ways that he could die, and it just so happens that it's the plate of glass.
Yeah,
and
because
really,
you think it's going to be the. I think it's going to be something to do with the dentist.
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't mind the dentist, but that scene kind of did something to me. I was like, oh, can you get out of this scene? This is kind of making me all yuck. Like, kind of get out of there, man. Because the bird keeps hitting the window and the dentist keeps moving the drill. And I'm like, dude, you're going to drill his face off. Stop it. It kind of made me go, yuck. It was kind of gross.
Yeah.
It did its job well.
Yeah, I mean, dentists are dentists. Like, no one likes going to a dentist.
Good point.
That death is actually almost entirely caused by the lead characters, though, because they yell out.
It is, right? They yell
Watch
out
for the birds! And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Of course he's going to run into the birds. Maybe you should just say nothing.
Just walk up to him and go, hey, how are you?
Yeah, just be like,
we need you to wrap yourself in bubble wrap.
Yeah. It's a good gory moment.
It is.
But it's also another one where I'm just kind of like, why is that the thing that kills him, though?
Oh, really?
Because that wasn't set up, really.
Yeah.
Was it set up? Not really.
No, not really. It
just kind of was just there at the right moment.
The tension was more in the dentist's chair. Yeah. So then you get the mum in the elevator with her head coming off.
Nah, rubbish.
That was boring. Farm car crash. Oh, yeah, the airbag.
That's my vote.
That's your vote?
Airbag, yeah.
Airbag.
Yeah.
And then that car explodes and the barbed wire fence goes through the 2000 Stoner.
Kind of fun.
That's when we say, after that is the hospital explosion. We say goodbye to Ali Larter.
That's no good.
That was very boring.
Disappointing. More than anything else.
Jackson's didn't make with. That didn't make sense. Start TV interview. No, that was it. Yeah, definitely the airbag.
Airbag's my vote. Yeah.
Airbag. Okay. All right, I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, there were a little bit more in there, but I don't even mention that. That was boring as hell. Okay.
So we've got 2 films left that we haven't spoken about yet.
Yes, we do.
One of them is your third favourite and your favourite.
Yep.
For me, it's my second favourite and my favourite.
Excellent.
So we're going to discuss first what is my second... what is your third favourite and my favourite, because it's the lowest... Well, it's the lowest rank on one of our list.
Okay.
So it happens to be my favourite, but it's your third favourite,
It is?
so we'll discuss it now.
Oh, sure.
And that is...
Final Destination
3.
3.
Yeah.
The roller coaster.
The roller coaster. It is my favourite.
Yeah.
And not by a wide margin.
And I think the biggest star that the Final
These movies
Destination
have,
which
yeah.
is Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, though, she really wasn't.
She wasn't huge, but
no.
now.
But yeah, she's gone on to bigger and better things. And if you go back through the cast, we can't really say that about many other of these movies. There's not really anybody who's like who has gone on to bigger and better things. Maybe Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott. Yeah, you're right. So those are the 2 big kind of stars that came out of this, that were in this franchise that have gone on to better things.
And of course, Tony Todd, we haven't even mentioned Tony Todd at all.
Oh, Tony Todd,
who
Candyman.
Yeah, the Candyman himself.
Yeah,
who appears in all of them except 4, which kind of cements for me why 4 is the worst.
He's a voiceover.
He's a voiceover in number 3. He's the voice of the ride.
That's right, the ride. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think number 3 is legitimately
really
a good movie. Yeah. I think it figured out the tone.
Yeah.
It gets the tone exactly right. There are some really funny moments in 3.
There are, and characters. They made their characters likable. Like, you were like, oh no, like kind of thing.
Actual likable characters, you're right.
Yeah.
Actual characters. I know this sounds weird, but they are all characters in this. We don't have just these blandly drawn archetypes, or terrible attempts at character that just fall entirely short. Like I keep saying, Michael T. Williamson from number 4. It's just that character just blows my mind that it exists in that movie, and good performances too. I think it's the best acted.
Yeah, it really is. Even the comedy done well. It's even kind of poking fun of the Final Destination series just a touch, which it doesn't push it too hard, but it does it enough.
No.
And you're like, geez, that was quite clever what you did there.
And it really understood. It was, I think for me, it's the first one that understood the attraction of these films, the theme park kind of, and by setting it in a theme park, I don't think it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I think he understood that what they had on their hands was a potential for a haunted house in movie form, where you just kind of squirm in your seat waiting for it, and when it happens, you kind of cheer because
you knew it was coming, and you're like, oh yes.
So,
and also like because they were kind of taking itself not seriously, but taking the movie, doing another sequel to it seriously, and 3D hadn't hit because 4 and 5 are very 3D pushed. This was kind of, no, what can we do to get them, kind of excited in the seats? So,
and they pushed the angle of the deaths in this one. They kind of said, okay, well, this is what we've got. We've got this concept where we can make really kind of interestingly elaborate deaths. And they did that. And they found some really fun ways, I think, to push that forward while actually writing a reasonably good movie, I think, with actual character arcs as well, which I found really interesting. I think the relationship between the 2 leads builds really nicely because I really like the conversation they have pretty early on in the film where she's like, we don't even like each other. We just happen to be in this situation.
That was very true.
To a point at the end where they actually do care about each other quite a lot. And it not in like a romantic way either, which is kind of nice. It's just kind of, no, we actually just do care about each other now because we've grown through this event.
Yeah.
And we get the introduction of somebody who we actually get a human villain. Yeah.
Which is
basically Christian Slater from Heathers.
The goth guy. We really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting touch and something that they needed, that
They needed to do.
They needed to do.
Yeah.
And they spoilers. They do a certain element of that in number 5.
Yeah.
But I think this movie's benefit from having a human villain engaged in all of this.
It adds to it rather than just, oh shit, we have to run. Like in number 2.
From a breeze.
Yeah. Number 2, let's lock ourselves in a padded room. And then what the fuck are you going to do? You're just going to live there for the rest of your life? Like, it didn't make any sense. But yeah, having the villain in there, which was good.
Yeah, and he's not always a villain, but his motivation works.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
It's and because they set him up as this person who is kind of jaded to begin with and doesn't agree with the public kind of the way the mourning process is going for these people.
Yeah.
Like, and when the priest says the thing about, death, we're all even in death's eyes, and he's like, are you fucking serious, man? Like, what are you talking about? This is really nonsense.
Good. I did like that.
So I think his is a natural progression toward him being capable of doing those things in order to survive.
I thought the really good idea in this was the fact that it wasn't premonitions anymore, it was photographs. I thought that worked really well, rather than them just having flashes of what's going to happen. It was such a pain in the ass. I was like, stop with this, stop. But yeah, having a look at the photos and making sure they're kind of looking at clues and things like that worked really well.
Well, yeah, and because how many of them use? There's no premonitions in 1. There's no. He just talks about how you can kind of feel it.
Yeah.
But that you don't get any weird flashes of stuff. I don't think there's anything in 2 either, is there?
No, 2 you see the signs, because there was that really weird bit where the stoner guy was like, hey, everyone, come over here. Can you look? I see knives on the floor.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, come on, man.
A man with hook for hands.
Yeah, hook for hands. That's right. I'm like, no, stop.
And then, 3 kind of provides like a tangible
thing that they saw that's connected to what happened.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a bit more believable rather than
number 4. He just has
that moment
weird
in the movie
dreams.
and that moment in the movie where they all go, are you seeing something now?
Yeah.
Have you seen something? And I'm like, stop. This is so lame.
Yeah.
Who would do this?
That's terrible.
Is
there anything in 5? Is there any kind of
I forget
premonition-y quality in 5? I'm not sure. I actually don't. I don't think there is. No, there isn't.
There isn't? No, I don't think there is. And I think that's why it was...
It probably works a lot better.
Yeah.
What else?
2 of my favourite characters in the entire series, and it's not because they got naked, Ashley and Ashlyn.
Yeah.
I thought they were fantastic.
They're really interesting, aren't they?
Funny.
They're really interesting characters because they're not...
Because
typically
I know
you'd play
girls
them,
that are like that.
Yeah, but you typically play that role as really like vapid, awful people.
Yeah.
But they're really quite nice.
Yeah, they were lovely.
They're like, we should go talk to her. We should invite her to town with us.
Exactly. But that's on the level that they were on.
Yeah.
They weren't malicious or anything like that. They weren't taking the piss. That's what they thought that might make her happy.
It was actually kind of strange. And I like that the JD guy, JD from Heathers. I like that he kind of calls it out at the funeral and says as well. It's like, these 2 girls were really like, they might have been dumb, but they were lovely and they meant really well, and they wouldn't hurt anybody.
They wouldn't hurt anyone.
And this is their punishment.
Yeah.
And that really sucks. Yeah, I think it was a really interesting character choice that they were so lovely.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were one of my favorites.
Really strange.
Yeah.
This movie contains my favorite moment of direction in the whole series.
Oh, sure.
And that is the cut from the 2 of them burning in their tanning beds.
Yeah.
The smash cut to the 2 coffins exactly in the same position.
In the same position. That was very good.
It is wonderful. And that is the kind of satirical edge that the others are lacking.
Exactly. That's what you need to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because that is wonderfully like witty in my mind.
Yeah.
And it's just because you don't need it to be like taking the piss the way some of the stuff in number 4 does. You can be, that's just clever satirical outlook on it.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
kind
not
of, that's
clever dialogue, or it's something that the audience will only get if you're looking for it.
Yeah. It's got a little black comedy streak to it.
Yeah.
Do you know one of my other ones that I think goes unnoticed a little bit is that when they visit the guy in the gym, it's the Sultans.
That whole fucking scene was hilarious.
Yeah, it is pretty funny, that scene. But the mascot is the Sultans, right?
Yeah.
And they go and they try to convince him, blah, 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 and his head gets smushed and they get blood all over him.
Yeah.
In the immediate next scene, they're decked out in Sultan's gear.
Sultan's gear. That's so funny.
Is
because they're so saturated in blood.
Because they had to change the blood. But I love that the only clothes that they can wear...
Sultan's gear. Like, yeah, man.
Full Sultan's gear.
So funny.
It's like they've been sponsored. It's so funny.
That was so funny.
And like stuff like that, that's really clever for me. I think that's really funny.
It wasn't enough of it, though. It was just a little bit... It could have been a little bit more.
No, but, whether or not you want to...
Push it too much?
I mean, for me, I think it strikes the perfect balance.
Okay.
But I can understand if you do want more of it. Because I think maybe a real... Like I'm saying about the final scene of number 2, a real darkly black comic version of this concept could be really fun and could be really great. But this is maybe the closest we can get with still maintaining a threat level.
Yeah, rather than it getting to be to the point of scary movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of her sister in this. I thought she was her sister and the gothic guy's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they both were lacking. I'm like, you guys need to go, and this movie will actually be really, really, really good.
I don't like... I think she's an underwritten character for sure. I like that element, though, as a plot device.
The sister?
The fact that there was somebody...
who wasn't
that
meant to
they
be
didn't
there.
know was in the line.
Yeah,
and
I did like that.
It
took me a while when she confronts her at the carnival and says, "What the fuck are you doing here? Does your mum know you're here?" I'm like, "Do you two know each other?" Like,
I think she says,
bullying
"Does
her?
mum know you're here?"
Yeah, but it took me a while to get. Are you related? Like,
yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, are you just going to tell her mum? Like, do you know her mum?
Yeah,
like because you're all at high school, sort of thing.
But yeah, it was a weird kind of like. So was everybody at that carnival? Why were only the seniors allowed to go to that carnival? They looked like there were other people there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just seniors.
It's a pretty small carnival if they're just seniors of one school.
Oh, yeah. It couldn't be more than 100 people.
Yeah.
And did you notice that they had a booked time to do the roller coaster?
Yeah.
I was like, that must be a pretty...
It's a shitty carnival if you have to do that. What if you want to fucking ride it as much as you want?
Or how can there be so much demand if it's just the senior class for one ride? Like that they have to go now, otherwise they'll wait for an hour. It's kind of like,
it can't be, because there were kids on that ride as well.
Exactly.
Remember the little kids.
So
I
don't really understand what that's all about. But what are you going to do?
It wasn't the premonition event. Wasn't great.
It's not strong.
It's not really that strong.
It's better than the motorway, and
it's better than the motorway.
Probably on par with the plane crash, I'd say.
The plane crash?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 5 and 2 have much stronger
events.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite death. So we've got the start is Ashley and Ashlyn. The tanning bed.
Oh, they're the first death.
They're the first.
Yeah, right.
Frank in the truck van. What is that?
Yeah, so that's in the drive-through when the car crashes into it and the engine comes through and chops his head up.
That's right. Tough guy at the gym accident.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny. I've just written shiny nail gun.
That's the girl at the hardware store.
Oh, that's at the end.
Crashes into the nail gun, pops them all through her face.
That's a lot. That I kind of like that one.
I like that
was
that's
really
going to be
good.
That's my runner-up.
That's your runner-up. Sister with the horse. Oh, but this was a premonition. This didn't actually happen. She just didn't die. This was kind of
she doesn't have another premonition till the end. It's she doesn't actually. They managed to cut the rope before she gets dragged through the harvester thing. But then immediately the horse turns around and flicks the pole into her friend's chest.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kevin Gasburn. I have no idea what that means. Who's Kevin? Is Kevin the guy?
Yeah. What?
Kevin was the friend?
Gasburn.
It just says Gasburn. It just says Gasburn. Nick, these are your notes, dumbass.
No, because he nearly dies. He gets blown up by the...
Oh, I remember what it was, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's just it's another premonition. So yeah.
And then McKinley... Is it McGinley? McGinley gets crushed by he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Gets crushed by that cherry picker thing.
Yeah.
Just smashes him down.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I like that one too.
That's a hard one. I'm going to go with Ashley and Ashlyn.
Ashley and Ashlyn is, I think, the best death in this because it is the most Rube Goldbergy, and I love it.
And it's so built up.
Yeah,
like you
I love
can just
every little moment to it.
Things gonna just start to happen.
Yeah, the condensation dropping on the thing, the door locking because he's used a a tube of cream to shut it as opposed to anything else.
An actual block, yeah.
The fact that they played around, like to me,
they played around with the temperature. The turning beds are going to get hotter.
The shelf got loose, so every little element
that was really good.
It comes into play, and it all adds up to this pretty like devastating death.
Yeah.
And it's also one that I kind of it's real kind of.
It's a bit full on, yeah.
It's pretty torturous.
Because it's almost like you're stuck in an oven, like in between, like not an oven, like on top of on a stove, or at the bottom of a stove.
It would be probably one of the worst ways to go that we see in this series. A lot of the other ones are quick. Like, yes, you deal with a lot of other shit.
You wouldn't even feel the nail.
But then,
like, boom, 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 boom. She's dead after the first nail, man.
Like, as soon as you cop a pipe through the head, you're done.
Exactly.
Whereas this one,
especially if it's
there's a lot of suffering in it, and it makes you kind of squirm. It's like, it's
you're
awful.
Just cooking.
And then for me, it's the directorial choice to cut to the coffins as well, which I think is just stunning. It's a bit. I don't like these. I don't think these movies needed to be TNA movies. You know.
No.
So I find that them taking their tops off is a bit kind of exploitive, and I'm like, what are these movies? Who are these movies for?
Yeah, they don't really need it, do they?
It's kind of like, and I thought we'd kind of moved past that. You know, I'd like to think we've moved past that 80s slasher vibe where it's like we just have nudity for the sake of it.
Yeah,
it feels like it's a little bit suit for sake of it. Like, and I get, it's a tanning bed. They want, maybe we could have done something where it's like they put a little thing over the nipples, so it's not like as.
Yeah.
Here are our boobs.
Yeah.
Which are a bit, makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially considering I think the rest of the scene is so well crafted.
It is. It's done well.
Yeah.
It's done really well. That's not a bad scene.
I really like that scene.
Maybe I'm turning around on Final Destination 3 because of that scene.
I'm surprised it ranks under number 2 for you. I think it's like dramatically better than 2.
What did I rate it to? I rated 2, number 2.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not going to make you change your mind, though. That's not how it works.
I'm going to have a think here.
Have a think.
All right. Moving
on. So that was it. We've got our favourite death. All right, cool.
Yeah.
We don't need to say anything else about that one. Cool. It's a good one. I liked it.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I'd give that one because it's my favourite. It's getting I give it about a solid 6 or 7 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the favourites.
To your favourite and my second favourite.
Final Destination 5.
Now, Nick, I'm so excited that you liked this movie because we've talked about this before.
Have we?
This is the movie that I've brought up, and every time I say spoilers for Final Destination 5,
it's
Secret Prequel.
Secret Prequel.
And when
you
it happened,
love that, don't you?
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was legit like
blown away.
Well done, movie.
Yeah.
Because then, and I watching it because that was the first time I saw it. Now watching it for a second time.
Yeah.
Seeing just how cleverly they never drew attention to it.
They just intertwined it. You didn't realise.
You just kind of all of a sudden, and I'm looking at all these Motorola flip phones and like
That's
CDs and things
You're
like.
like, what year is this?
But you never thought about it. You never thought about it.
No.
You know,
it was
like
very
the technology on the bus, the TV screens on the bus, and all that. The types of cars that are on the bridge, like all these things, you just don't. It doesn't draw attention to it. So when at the end, when it goes, what? It's set in 2000.
Yeah.
No, that can't be right. But if you go back and watch it, it holds up, man.
It is set in 2000.
Yeah, it's really
It was
cleverly
quite
done.
good, wasn't it? Yeah, this is my favourite. The characters are legitimately characters in this. I'm going to go ahead and say.
I agree with you.
100%.
I like the characters more in number 3 because I think there's a bit more going on. But I'm with you. They are actual characters in this film, which is nice.
They are funny. Really funny. Like, I was laughing a lot in this last movie, especially from that prick Isaac. Like, he was such a dodgy, greasy character, and I loved every minute of him. The guy who dies in the day spa.
Oh God, yeah, he's awful.
No, he was awful, but he played it really well. He really did.
He did, yeah. He did make it. You were able to kind of gleefully laugh because he's so awful.
I loved it. I loved it.
And I enjoy he gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, he does. And he gets it right in the face. Like, he gets it really well.
And I like that he hung shit on the Buddha when he walked in the room.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that takes
that's
it.
the thing, like little things like that, and that's what kills him. Like, come 100%. On, that's awesome. But yeah, this was a big one for me because not a big one for me. This is the one that tops it for me because the event that happens, the premonition and the event that happens is what I've wanted throughout this series. It was catastrophically fucking huge.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't like a 5-minute thing, it went for like 10 minutes. Or
it's because I was, funnily enough, because I was having trouble with my stream when I was watching it.
Yeah.
That's a side note. Like the Netflix quality of the stream of this film.
Oh, really?
Was really dodge.
Mine was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know what it was because I've got my Netflix set to high quality streaming. I just want, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I don't have Ultra HD, but I've got the HD subscription.
Yeah.
I could see like legit pixels on this stream, and I was like, "That's garbage. I should be able to get this. Paying decent money. Yeah. Have you like?
I don't think it's their fault. I think it's Australians government. Australians.
Surely
government,
the
Australians
source
internet.
A source can't like maybe they use just a DVD as the source though. Like,
you think so?
It just looked really shit.
Okay,
and I was really disappointed.
But yeah, that's what I wanted from the Final franchise, the Final Destination franchise.
Yeah,
finally,
I agree with that.
It was really good. It
feels like a disaster movie. It felt like watching a little clip from something like San Andreas or something. Yeah. And that's kind of cool. I like. And I think it's pretty brutal too.
Yeah, some of the stuff in there, like as the deaths got further on, it was Jesus, whoa! Like you kind of see them coming, like all the the metal rods coming off and just coming sliding down. Yeah, I was like,
that bit was messed up.
That's fucked. And the fact that you hear it tingle on the way down. Ooh.
There's also,
and then he heads off.
It's the bounce off at the bottom.
Bounce off at the bottom.
That's great.
And I'm like, dude, you copped it the worst.
Yeah, he got it real hard.
Like, yeah, Isaac at the start when he just fell, he was in the bus and he fell in the water.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the worst way to go.
You're alive.
Or actually landing in the water and being okay, and then looking up and a car smacking you in the face.
That's good.
There's very little pain involved in that.
Exactly.
You're not being alive more than a millisecond when a car smashes into your face like that.
Exactly.
It does suffer a little bit from the same things that 4 does in the sense that it's cashing in on 3D.
The 3D element, yes, that's true. But I feel that the characters bringing the funny lines that they had, and the girl that was trying to be a model or whatever, like her little tidbits were I thought really funny because she was realistic.
Yeah,
about
dialogue exchanges I think in this are pretty solid.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of the same kind of. When they have serious conversations.
It was a little bit too much like 2.
It gets a bit samey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's funny is that upon reflection, you're watching, when they have the conversation with Tony Todd.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What? You're following us? What are you doing?" And he's basically saying, No, I've seen something like this before, blah, blah, blah. I think that's really clever because that immediately makes us think that this takes place after the other films.
Exactly.
But it doesn't. And all it is Tony Todd being a coroner. It just goes to show that in number 1, that's not the first time it happened.
Yeah.
Either is this.
Yeah.
Which is prior to number 1. Exactly. So it's obviously like a continuous thing that happens quite a lot.
I do like that he comes in and out of the franchise. It would have been better had he done had a bit more to do with it or something, rather than just be the hermit that just has one line. And
it's weird that you get Tony Todd in your movie and then you don't use him very much. Like he's such a great presence.
Quite scary.
He is, yeah. What's funny is I never realized that he was. He's actually such a beautifully nice man, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've watched interviews with him and listened to like when he's been guests on podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
he's just wonderful. He's really, really quite gentle. He's not like a funny guy or anything like that. He's just a really humble, kind of soft-spoken man.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I've just always thought he would be like a real asshole.
Oh, really?
Like, because he does it so well.
Yeah.
He's always done it so well. Or like scary, someone who would be threatening in real life.
Someone who's quite,
he does it
silently intimidating.
Because he does it so well.
Yeah.
He's terrifying with very little effort.
Yeah.
And that's hard to pull off.
That is.
But yeah, like... I think he's probably in 5 more than he's in any of the other ones because he gets 3 or 4 scenes in this one.
He does. Well, that's what the thing. Like, I wanted more of him, so when I got it in 5, I was like, yes, keep going. Oh, it was so good.
I like that it kind of raises some ethical questions.
It does.
Which it may not explore entirely, but it at least gives it a good go and kind of. Makes you question where you'd stand yourself. There's a really
What are you talking about again?
So, one of the ones that I find really interesting is when the foreman at the plant. He's trying to talk to the union guy. He actually tries to save him, but inadvertently kills him.
Yep.
So he's murdered this guy. Yeah. Accidentally killed him, and then benefits from it. And I think that's a real grey area ethically.
Yeah.
So now because he
admits it. He says, "Did you kill him? Did you kill him or not kill him?" And he's like, "Well, he technically killed him."
Yeah, I technically killed him, and maybe I didn't make the choice in the moment, and maybe I was trying to save him.
Yeah.
But now that his death benefits me, I'm happy about it, and that's morally and ethically a bit of a weird place to be in. And I actually kind of dig that.
Yeah.
Because then it sets us up for later as well, and we get what is actually I think a pretty good scene is the conversation at the dinner table.
And this is where I liked it because it turned into not a horror movie where we were there for the blood and the gore. It turned into, this is an actual film now.
Yeah. We had a legitimate human villain that developed over the course of the film.
Exactly.
Yeah. Similar to number 3.
Big arc. Yeah, exactly.
Which I really liked. Yeah.
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
What was his name? Peter, wasn't it? Yeah, Peter. I loved him because he went all nutty because he really did blame... He blamed, what was his name? Sam, that's right. He blamed Sam, but then because Sam's girlfriend gets to live and you two are going to go off and live together, I can't have that happen. So you know what? I'm going to kill you and then I will live and I'll be okay.
Yeah, and it's actually, like it's an understandable position that he's taking.
Yeah.
Like not in, I mean, obviously that's not the reaction I would have, but there is something really unbalanced about the fact that, you know, their suffering is diminished quite a lot by the fact that they still have each other and they actually found each other again because they were going to break up.
Exactly.
This brought them back together and they're actually probably going to experience some happiness now.
Yeah.
And he's had the opposite effect. He had the happiness and this event has totally stripped it away. I think it's kind of interesting.
I will go out on a ledge and say that their breakup was not believable at all. I was like, what is going on? Don't do this. Don't be shit.
I think
man.
aside from the actual event itself occurring, the first 10 minutes of this movie are real shaky.
Yeah.
It takes 100%. A little while to find its feet. And I remember the first time I watched it, going into it and being like, oh no, this is going to be on par with 4.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they actually kept getting worse. How could you get worse from 4? But we might manage to do it. And then it takes a swift turn.
Yeah. After the big accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was good. Which was really good. Yeah, I've got nothing. That's it. Shall we rank our...
We've got the deaths in this because it's man. It's got my favourite death.
It's got your favourite death.
Not only of this, but of the whole
series.
Occurs in number 5.
Here we go. So, Jesus. Start off hard and strong. The Gymnast.
That is spoilers. That's my choice. It is.
That is
top notch.
It's because of the setup.
The setup,
setup had me.
I want the setup
squirming, like that screw on the beam. I was like, I had to, and I never do this. I am not the type of person. I am the person watching the screen, not shying away from the gore or the blood or the scary man or the ghost or the fucking clown coming at us. No. Screw on the beam. She's gymnasticking her ass off, and her heel is going to go through the screw on the beam. I was like, I have to look away. Can you just do the foot thing so I can look away now?
And it toys with this so much. Like the way that her foot just keeps going either side of it,
And it does it so well. When she bounces back and forth, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, sure. And of course, in our head, we are thinking, well, she's going to step on it at some point. And so when she doesn't, we have this moment of confusion where we're like, what?
Oh,
hang on, what?
No, good.
This is what makes these deaths and this movie better than the other ones.
Yeah.
Is that it's as it happens, it was never that she was going to step in it.
Exactly.
The setup is that somebody else was going to.
Exactly. And her crumple, like, Jesus Christ.
It is brutal.
It's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch. It's so well done.
Yeah. Because her body just crumples and a lot of bone pierces a lot of skin, and that's where you're
there are some moments in this one that it lingers on the moment of violence a little bit more than the others, and it's pretty gleeful for me. It's like, oh
shit, that's hard.
Like
that's
it's
hard
not a great death, but David Koechner with the big screwdriver through his face just hangs on it a little bit longer, and you're like, oh, that's pretty fucking great.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
That was so good. Champ, man.
Oh, Champ.
God damn it. Champ was in this film.
What does he say?
And that's the thing. He was hilarious all the way through this.
Is it kablamo? Blammo. Whammo. Whammy?
Whammy.
Whammy.
Yeah. Kablamo. Fucking hell. Oh, God. Okay.
Did we do an episode of Anchorman? Why did I think we did an episode of Anchorman?
No, we haven't done
Okay,
Anchorman.
good.
I'd love to do that.
Someday.
Candace, dismount crunch.
Well, that's obviously the gymnast.
That's
Crunch.
her name,
Yeah.
Candace. Next is Isaac. I've literally written favourite character. The day spa. He's just a 100% prick. This guy, he is so funny. And they set him up well. That's why it's a good payoff.
Yeah.
Because he is on the phone to a different girl every single scene. You see him. And what he's saying to these women is just disgustingly awful.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're going to get it. And this is the thing. He's another version of the redneck guy who burns down the street. We want to see Isaac die. We know we're going to see him die. So when it happens, it's such an elaborate death that is so messed up because he's so uncomfortable, and you're like, yeah, that was awesome. And then you think it's going to happen because, he's going to catch fire. And they do it really well because what this franchise does is there's a lot of liquid coming to whatever liquid it is, it's coming towards you, whether it's water, oil, flammable liquid.
Yeah.
It's coming towards you, and if you're the one that's going to die, if you turn a corner or step away, it will magically just redirect, which is what water does, and they've done it so well in this.
Yeah.
So you think the flammable liquid that's coming... No, it's just normal water, because you think that he's going to get electrocuted by whatever's hitting the wall. But what that doesn't do anything. It stops where he is, and the Buddha hits him on the face, and you're like, beautiful.
Do you know what I found funny that he didn't react to?
Yeah.
Is that when he falls and off, and all the acupuncture needles go deep into him,
face. Yeah.
he's lying in pure alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely not enough of a reaction to that. That would sting.
I think the metal rods through his face have kind of counteracted the sting of the alcohol.
Do you know, this is a side story out of an incident the other day.
Oh, sure.
Where I was, my dog Sadie makes it very difficult to put pants on in the morning. I'll just say that. Because she decides that you're playing a game.
Sure.
And that the pants are an object that she is to grab. It needs to become hers.
Yeah.
And so it's a dance. And the other day, while doing this dance, I got this incredible shooting pain in my toe.
Sure.
And I assumed that because she's chomping and scratching and stuff, I thought that she just got me and kind of just got a sensitive area.
Sure.
So I went to work.
Yeah.
This is a side story. This is for
this is awesome.
It's worth
you
it.
never
it's
do
totally
this,
worth
so
it.
I love this.
Went to work.
Yep.
And it felt uncomfortable, and I thought maybe I might have broken my toe. I thought maybe she got it and twisted it and gave it a good nudge.
Yeah.
Because I was bending down to pick something up, and as I stood up, I got just shooting pains through my foot, and I was like, oh fuck, I've probably broken my toe, or at least sprained it really badly.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd better go have a look at it, just in case it's swollen up or it's gotten, maybe if it's bruised, at least I know that that's the cause of it.
Put some ice on it or something.
Anyway, and I was moving it around, and I kind of noticed something. And I was like, oh, and I ran my finger over it, and there was like a little spiky thing.
You touched something, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I might have a little shard of glass in there, maybe, because maybe there was something on the carpet,
big
or
splinter.
like a big splinter or something. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm trying to pull at it,
Oh my God.
and it's not coming out.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh fuck's sake! All right, so I go to the sick bay. And I'm like, can I get some? Have you got some tweezers? I think I've got a splinter or a little bit of shard of glass stuck in my toe or something.
Sure.
Like, sure. So I grab onto this thing and I start pulling.
Yep.
And it just kind of keeps going.
Oh my God.
And keeps going.
Yep.
And keeps going. I pulled out like 1.5 centimeters long nail.
Nail?
Yeah. A thin nail.
Nail?
Yep. Like something
Not a needle?
No, something you'd get from like an IKEA.
Like a pin?
Kind of thin enough to be a pin, but you know those IKEA ones where it's still got the flat top and
Jesus
you use
Christ,
it's like,
man.
Yeah. I think she got it out of a clothes hanger.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those wooden clothes hangers.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to I was like freaking out, pulling this out of my toe, pulled it out, and this blood just went.
That's awesome.
So I had this blood all over the sick bay at the school I was working at. And I'm like, oh God, this is embarrassing. Anyway, funny story. So I know that I was basically, the point of that story is I feel that guy's pain, because that bit where he was pulling out the thing, all I could think
I love
of.
you just pulled out one.
I know.
Don't pull out any, dude.
If you're going to pull out one, pull them all.
Leave the room.
Get the ones out of your face.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was full on.
Yeah. Fun story, Tyson.
Fun story, Tyson. You never do that. I love that. The next one was, this one was a bit messed up. Olivia with the eye laser.
This is my runner-up. I like this one.
Jesus, that was messed up. So the laser gets turned up to 500, whatever the fuck that is. And then, it just starts cutting through her eye.
They set it up so well because as soon as they start fucking around with her eye and those clamps holding her eyelid open, it's just so uncomfortable.
She flicks that clamp off.
I know, right? Ooh.
Jesus. That's intense. And then she puts her arm up and it cuts through her hand.
Yeah, see, she's not seeing out of that eye anyway, regardless.
Yeah, she's messed up.
Yeah.
And then we have Dennis with a wrench through the face, which is so quick.
Yeah, it is a quick one.
And
we get the death of a character that isn't even one of the
he gets
people.
Hook through the
hook through the neck.
Through the neck.
Yeah. Pretty good one.
That's a sharp hook, by the way. That's it. Sam killed Peter. Oh, Peter dies. How does Peter die again? He gets shot?
No, he gets stabbed with a meat rotisserie.
Skewer. Yeah. But that's kind of glossed over. He's kind of like stabbed and just thrown it to the side. Yeah.
Well, but it's all in... At that point, though, we get this great kind of...
you get tension of the gun sitting on the
you get the gun sitting there.
Stove.
You get the idea of Peter trying to kill Sam because if he kills Sam, he'll get his life. But then Sam ends up killing Peter, and so he achieves the same effect. So he actually gets by defending himself or defending. Oh, but at that point he's killed the police officer.
Exactly.
So he's defending himself while he's trying to kill his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He gets to actually kind of do the life thing.
Yeah.
Not for long.
No, not for long, because he ends up on Flight 180.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
So the whole movie, they're talking about this thing in Paris.
Yeah.
He's got this
We're
internship.
Gonna go to Paris.
We're going to go to Paris. And not once when I was watching this the first time did I put two and two together. That, of course, Flight 80 was the flight to Paris.
Yeah.
They get on the plane, they have a little chat about how excited they are, and then we cut to
Sit
the
down,
argument.
and then literally the argument between Devon Sawa and Kirsten.
Yeah. And it's
How good
wonderful.
is that?
And then he pulls the ticket out, and it's the year 2000. I love it. And the end of that is actually really... It's pretty great.
Yeah.
His explosion, and he's just sitting there
he
screaming.
Just fries, man.
Jesus,
he
up.
dies like hardcore. Yep. He screams it out. I think I'd rather fall out of the plane, to be honest.
I reckon probably.
Because at least I'd kind of go, cool, I'm about to die. I'm going to Superman the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to enjoy that last moment. Yeah. And then we get the little kind of spoiler at the end.
Yeah.
Which I actually really love
like
this.
That?
Yeah. Well, because we get the conversation from him saying, the guy actually had massive cancer, or like a blood burst, or like a swollen blood vessel or something.
Yeah.
And they said he was probably going to die within a few days anyway. And then a fucking plane lands on him.
Fucking Christ. Like a plane lands on him. That's hard. That's a hard lose.
It's pretty great. Yeah, that's a hard lose. It's for me, it's also similar to I like the ending of 3 when they all end up on that same train together. I think that's also the best example of the no, wait, death still gets you.
I didn't like that one. I preferred this one. Yeah.
Oh, I think I preferred this one.
Obviously because of the
massive great
prequel.
Yeah, secret prequel.
Secret prequel.
It's the hardest. It's actually really hard to say. Secret prequel.
Secret prequel.
Secret prequel.
Secret prequel.
Can people give me more secret prequels?
Can you put that into? You need to put that into the bio of this thing. Say secret prequel. You know what? I'll do it on the Insta. Secret prequel.
Yeah, I want more. I want to find more secret prequels.
What?
It's going to be my favorite.
Tell me a film that you would like a secret prequel from.
No, I want them to already exist. I want people to alert me to them.
Oh,
so I can watch them.
But if you were to make one,
a secret prequel,
what would it be to?
What's like a movie I like that no one else likes? That's the question.
Troy.
Well, there can't be a secret prequel to that.
There might be.
No, I don't know.
No? All right. Secret prequel. So best... we go on the gymnast, aren't we?
Oh, it's
for the best death?
Gymnast, 100%. Yeah. It's brilliant. It's brutal. So it's so fucking
it's full on, man.
So full on.
Jesus Christ, she hits it hard.
She
I wanted to rewind it and just go, can I slow-mo this?
It's the only one that
remember slow-mo?
Yeah. It's the only one I've shown people on YouTube as
really?
You've got to see this. So that's how effective it is. To the point where I'm like, have you seen the gymnast death?
Because it's quite quick.
Yeah.
But it lingers on the end result.
Yeah. Well, you can just watch that moment because it's if it's CGI, it's very effective.
Yeah.
But I think it might be a mix of practical and CGI.
Yeah, I think
it might be a
CGI
dummy
practical.
with some CGI face put on and stuff like that. But it looks great. Looks
awesome.
so good.
The boyfriend sees everything.
Oh, man. It's the sound design. It's everything.
It's very good.
Really nicely put together.
Yeah.
Well, Nick.
Tyson.
Let's refresh for the people at home.
Yep.
Your ranking. Of the Final Destination films.
Of the Final Destination films, go as thus. 1.
1 is the worst.
1 is the worst. 4.
Yep.
3.
Yep.
2. 5.
Very good.
Yeah.
My
Tyson?
ranking. What did I say?
The
4.
worst. 4.
4 is absolute garbage.
Yeah. Horrible.
1.
1.
2. 5. 3.
Nice.
Would never have suspected that.
No, not at all.
Can I tell you what I thought my order was going to be before I rewatched them all again?
Oh, sure.
I thought I was going to like 2 the best.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Then I thought I would have 3.
Okay. I thought 1.
Yeah. Then I thought... Then I was like, well, it has to be 1. Because I was like, there's no way 5 is better than 1.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like clearly it's leaps and bounds. So yeah, 1,
Yeah.
then 5, then 4.
Yeah. Because I knew that the only thing that I knew going in was that the last 2 were 3D elements to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, they're not going to be that great. So the secret one that I didn't really know that was a surprise that it was that good was 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't it what I like about 5 as well is that it feels like they actually did want 4 to be the last one.
Yeah.
But because it was so shit, they went, oh, we can't let it be. Because it actually, everything about it is up a notch. Like there's recognizable actors. The cinematography, much better. Set design, special effects.
Yep.
Everything about it.
They've got a bit of money in it.
You can tell that they went, no, we're not leaving this with this garbage. Have some more money, make a good one.
And even though it is 3D, the 3D element isn't so in your face.
No.
Like, it's there.
Yeah.
You get a couple of them, but the deaths don't rely on the fact that you're watching a 3D film.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And they get Tony Todd back for another thing. You can tell that it's 100% an apology for number 4.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because I think
We're
they
fine
do a
with
really
that.
good job with it.
Yeah. And you get a sequel prequel.
And I get a secret prequel.
What did I say? Sequel prequel. I'm
Sequel
gonna say
prequel.
Sequel prequel.
A sequel prequel sidequel.
Sequel prequel. Okay.
That's going to wrap us, Nick.
The Final Destination.
Well, that was our Halloween
franchise.
special, Final Destination franchise. Next year, Nick, we're
Next
doing
year,
one. I
Tice?
think we got to do one of the epic ones next year.
Fuck. Can we at least do Nightmare? Because it's my fave.
Maybe. Probably.
Because Halloween
Nightmare.
and Friday have
Too many.
way too many.
So
unless we do Child's Play.
we could do Child's Play. There's about 8 in that now.
Fuck no.
No,
Oh,
look,
that's
I think.
gold.
Look, I think it's.
We could do Butterfly Effect. Is that one?
There's 3 of those.
I'm kidding.
So yeah, well, I think we're gonna have to do one of the big ones. I think we've dodged around it now. We have. People know that we picked Final Destination because we couldn't be fucked doing more than 5 movies.
yeah.
So now
'Cause it's hard.
we're gonna bite the bullet and do one of the big ones.
All right.
So we will take suggestions for that again next year, of course.
We will. But if you don't write anything in, we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've got that box set just sitting there ready to go. So
And 2 is so good.
is it? Is it really?
It's one of my faves. Okay. No, it's one of my faves because it's the horror movie that, you have one of the best iconic movies of horror of all time, A Nightmare on Elm Street. And 2 is so shit that it just fucks the farm. Like, you have no idea how bad it fucks the farm. Like,
I've never heard that saying before. That's great. Very good. Hey, Nick, remind the people at home where they can find
ladies
our
and
show.
gentlemen, thank you. Hopefully you're listening to this and you've got a bunch of kids knocking on your door asking for candy and all you have is granola bars, you dumbass.
Don't mind a granola bar, to be honest. Mix it up a little bit.
But no, please like, subscribe, all of that stuff on Apple Podcasts. We would absolutely love that.
That's it.
Other than that, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we're on Instagram. You can listen to us on YouTube, and we are on the Letterboxd app, which we'd love for you to follow us because we do love. We just love the app. It's so
we love
good.
the app. We love kind of seeing what people are watching as well. If you follow us, chances are we'll probably follow you. And I do like to kind of just see what people are reviewing, what they're watching, what they're rating.
Exactly.
It's a really fun way to get kind of social with your movie watching.
It is indeed.
We've got to start getting paid by these fucking dudes.
Seriously. So yeah, you can follow Tice on Letterboxd. He's TYS_videotape, and I'm NIC_videotape.
That's it. And we hope you have enjoyed your October, ladies and gentlemen. And culminating in a wonderful Halloween evening. If you happen to find 2 hours or hour and a half or so to listen to this episode on Halloween, that would make us very happy.
Aww.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
And we can all watch that cartoon of the Headless Horseman together.
Yes.
Because that's like a Halloween tradition.
It's like a tradition.
I love that thing. That's terrifying. Or the Garfield Halloween special.
Yes.
That thing's scary.
That is scary.
Yeah.
Have I told you about that?
No, I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah, of course. It's classic.
Because I've talked to Sam about that so many times. That legitimately scares the fucking shit out of me.
It's
the
amazing.
old man at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's wild.
Look it up, people. Garfield Halloween special. Fuck,
Yeah.
it scares me. You know what? We're posting it on the Facebook.
Yeah, we should. Because it doesn't go for long, does it?
No.
It's like
no,
15
it goes
minutes.
for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy your Halloween. We'll be back with our regularly scheduled programming in a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
I'd say.
100%.
We'll be back to some fun times before we hit Nick. Almost our Not Quite Christmas movies specials
Again.
coming up.
I like it.
And then, of course, we're talking about end of year stuff. We're talking about year in review. We're almost at that point again.
Jesus,
that happens so quick,
that
doesn't
was
it,
really
Nick?
fast.
All right. Well, tune in, guys, and we'll have a couple of weeks of normal movies before we hit our Christmas stuff.
We will.
It'll be
We will
exciting.
indeed.
I'll see you later, Nick.
Bye, Dyson.
Bye.